Hello.
Hi again. Ray Franz, in his chapter 3, Governing Body, discussing his growing discomfort as years went by and the governing body were making practical decisions for people despite their being in the ivory tower of Watchtower headquarters all the time. And we'll get to some of the problems with that. Now it gets to marital intimacy. So very early in the governing body's history, as far back as 1972, policy changes started to happen because of letters that were coming in and decisions that they were kind of forced upon the governing body during a short period of time. He says, a matter not among those just mentioned, but which brought one considerable discussion, involved a witness couple in California. Someone had seen in their bedrooms certain literature and photographs dealing with unusual sex practices. I do not recall that we learned just how the person reporting this happened to have access to the couple's bedroom. Investigation and interrogation by the local elders confirmed that the couple did engage in sexual relations other than by simple genital copulation. Correspondence from the elders came into Brooklyn, and the governing body was called upon to rule as to what action, if any, should be taken toward the couple. Until the correspondence was read to us that morning, none of us, aside from the president, had had any opportunity to think about the subject. Yet within a couple of hours, the decision was reached that the couple was subject to disfellowshipping. This was thereafter set out as a formal published policy applicable to any persons engaged willfully in similar practices.
The published material was understood and applied in such a way that marriage mates generally felt obliged to report to the elders if any such practice existed or developed in their marriage, whether mutually agreed upon or done solely at the initiation of one of the mates. In the latter case, the non-initiating mate was expected to come forward and convey this information to the elders if the initiating mate was unwilling to do so. To fail to come forward generally is viewed as indicative of an unrepentant attitude and as weighing in favor of disfellowshipping. The belief that disfellowshipping cuts one off from the one organization where salvation can be found, as well as from friends and relatives, exercises heavy pressure on the person to conform, no matter how difficult confession or reporting to the elders may be. The governing body's decision in 1972 resulted in a sizable number of judicial hearings, as elders followed up on reports or confessions of the sexual practices involved. Women experienced painful embarrassment in such hearings as they responded to the elders' questions about the intimacies of their marital relations. Many marriages where one of the mates was not a witness underwent a turbulent period, with the non-witness mate objecting strenuously to what he or she considered an unwarranted invasion of bedroom privacy. Some marriages broke up with resulting divorce.
An unprecedented volume of mail came in over a period of 5 years, most of it questioning the scriptural basis for the governing body members inserting themselves into the private lives of others in such a way, and expressing inability to see the validity of the arguments advanced in print to support the stand taken. The principal portion of Scripture relied upon was Romans chapter 1, verses 24 to 27, dealing with homosexuality. And those writing to the society pointed out that they could not see how it could rightly be applied to heterosexual relations between man and wife. Other letters, often from wives, simply expressed confusion and anguish over their uncertainty as to the properness of their sexual foreplay. One woman said she had talked to an elder and he had told her to write to the governing body for a sure answer. So she wrote, saying that she and her husband loved each other deeply, And then she described the certain type of foreplay, that's her words, they were accustomed to, stating, "I believe it's a matter of conscience, but I am not writing to you. I am writing to you to be sure." Her closing words were, quote, "I am scared, I am hurt, and I am more worried at this time about my husband's feeling for the truth. I know you will tell me what to do."
Wow. In another typical letter, an elder wrote saying that he had a problem he wanted to get straightened out in his mind and heart, and that to do this, he felt it best to contact the mother for advice, and he's meaning Mother Organization in that statement. The problem dealt with his marital sex life, and he said that he and his wife were confused as to where to draw the line in the act of foreplay before the actual act of sex. He assured the society that he and his wife would follow any advice you give us to the letter. These letters illustrate the implicit trust these persons had come to place in the governing body. The belief that the men forming that body could tell them where to draw the line in even such intimate aspects of their personal lives, and that they should rightly hew to that line to the letter.
Well, here you see the big problem. And then at the time when this was all happening, I remember when all this was happening and these articles were coming out, there was a lot of talk about it, because most of my friends by this time were either married or getting married. We were all in our early to mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there was a lot of buzz. I wasn't an elder, so I only heard it at the ground level.
Mm-hmm.
But it does bring up the issue of who are these men at the top, the governing body members. And as the Setnars and others have pointed out, Ray Franz in this book, there was a rule at headquarters, right? All headquarters all over the earth, until the late 1950s, the rule was that you didn't get married while you were at Bethel.
Yeah.
So of these 11 men that are serving at this time, likely, well, we know several of them weren't married, and the ones that had got married later in life.
Yeah.
So they had little experience, and here they are making rules, not just counseling, making rules for a couple of million people.
Yeah.
And how their remoteness therefore becomes not just a problem, now it becomes fatal to some marriages.
There's no training of conscience, really. Yeah. These people are looking to them to tell them what to do.
Yeah. I mean, even the fact that they were not able to marry when they were at headquarters, and that was a rule. This legalism about everything that
and they determine everything
in God's organization. But in the you don't get the impression that in the New Testament or the Old that the leaders of the community were this degree differentiated or set apart from their fellows.
Yeah, making all the decisions and rulings on everything.
Yeah, the Setnar series that we did, I think it runs to about a dozen videos altogether. We'll put the first one of those in because this is the beginning of Bill and Joan Setnar's removal from the Watchtower, was, like Ray Franz, their disillusionment with the way things happen at headquarters.
Yeah.
So we'll put the first of that series in, then just follow the links. And also the playlist, which is, they're all from the playlist, XJW Testimonies. See you next time.
Bye. Okay.